Well, the weather's packing up. Looks like it could be turning nasty, so we're out in the bush. We think we're lost. We're just going through the 5 golden rules if you think you're lost in the bush or lost in the wilderness. I'm Rick, this is Lifestyle and Tech, so stick around for the next few minutes and we'll just discuss golden rule number 4 if you're lost in the bush or lost in the wilderness. So golden rule number 4, very important. What is golden rule number 4? Get help. Very simple, very straightforward, but there's a little bit more to it than just those 2 words, get help. Because what do? You're in the bush, you think you might be lost. How do I get help? A good time to look at golden rule number 4 is when you've applied the other golden rules. You know, you've got a little bit of shelter, you've stopped, you're having some food, you're having a hot drink or a cold drink, you've just taken stock of the situation, you've calmed down. So now is a good time to apply golden rule number 4, which is get help. Bit of a contradiction. You're thinking, well, hang on, if I'm lost, don't I just stay put? Isn't that the main part of these golden rules until help comes to me? Why should I go and get help? Well, let's just spin it around a wee bit, because what get help means is actually, it's quite simple. The first thing is the very simple thing. Get your cell phone out, if you've got one. Get your GPS out, your locator. Turn on your GPS. It'll start sending out the signal. Make sure you've got a bit of a clear line of sight to the sky. You know, if you're deep in a little part of the bush net, you need to be in a little bit of an open area, otherwise the signal may not transmit properly. But set that thing off, your GPS locator. Okay, if you've got a cell phone, if you've got signal, then that's the first thing, that's the most simple thing. If you've got connectivity and a signal, get on your cell phone, dial up your loved ones, possibly just to raise the alarm. Or if you're a bit worried about that, you know you're severely lost, then just dial 111 straight away. You know, 911, depending on where you are in the world, and they will raise the alarm. Okay, if you don't have cell phone connectivity, you don't have a GPS locator, okay, but you're lost, you know you can't get out following the map because you don't really know where you are, stay put. You must stay put. Okay, even if you're 2 days into a 5-day tramp and you're hopelessly lost, stay put. It might be 2 days before the alarm is raised. You may have left instructions on a 2-minute form, on an online form with a tramper club, hiking club, your loved ones. Always leave that instructions behind, where you're going, your intentions, the trails you're on, how far you might be going off trail or into the bush, how long you're going to be, when you're expected to be back, or when you're expected to be out of the bush, and when they should raise the alarm if you don't turn up. It's very important. So as I said very early on in one of the other videos, you might be a day and a half, 2 days into your 5-day tramp deep in the bush and you become hopelessly lost. Well, you might be 3 days before someone raises the alarm. So it's very important you follow all the other steps of the 5 golden rules until you arrive at golden rule number 4, which is where we are now. And that is basically get help, okay? If you've got your GPS, your cell phone, try that first. Okay, if you're pretty sure you're not 100% lost and you can find your way out, try self-rescuing, but be sure you can get help by finding your way out yourself. Okay, don't send somebody off from your party to go bush bashing to get help because they think the hut's over there. If you don't know, don't go. Very simple. You know, if in doubt, stay put. It's very simple. Make yourself visible, make your little campsite visible, get out as much of your visible clothing as you can, put them in areas, put it on yourself, of course, your high vis clothing. If you've got orange tents and tarps and things, then drape those over bushes and a line of sight to the sky. They stick out for a country mile, especially from the air. It's about making yourself visible, putting yourself in a location without putting yourself in further danger and making yourself even more lost. Try and pick out a location where there's a little bit of an open area so helicopters can see you, search and rescue can find you, and just stay put. You know, shelter, fire, food, health, first aid, not panicking and just assessing your situation. But obviously if you've arrived at the point where you cannot self-rescue, that means effectively you can't get help outside of your GPS locator, your beacon. You know, if you've got a cell phone, set it off, try and reach help that way. Chances are, if you're seriously deep in the bush and you've got no signal, you're pretty damn sure you are lost, you're all getting a bit nervous, stay put. okay? But in staying put, look after yourselves. Make it as easy as possible for search and rescue and other people to find you. The worst thing, the biggest complaint and the biggest difficulty search and rescue have, whether it's police, search and rescue teams, Mountain Safety Council, tramping groups, hiking clubs, all the volunteers that come looking for you when you're, lost in the bush and overdue. Even if you haven't raised the alarm, if you're overdue, they will come looking. Okay, and the biggest problem that they have with people when they are lost is moving. Moving a little bit here, a little bit further on, a little bit here, a little bit all over the place. Don't move. If you're not sure where you are, stay put. Very simple. The worst thing a rescue team finds is trying to track a moving target. Okay, if you've been to huts and you filled in the logbooks, as you should, there's always a book in a hut every now and then with your intentions, the intentions book. Just write in it that you were here, what time. Even if you're hopelessly lost after that, 2 days later you might have gone off in the bush, got lost. That intentions book will tell them that you've been there, so they know they're closing in on you. Stay in location, make your site and yourself as visible as possible from the sky, from surrounding trails, whether it be your high-vis gear, orange tent, orange tarp, bright green this, bright green that. Even if you bowl down a few thin trees, fold them over, look at ferns that have got silvery backs on them, things like that, break them, turn them over, make a big patch of them. Anything that becomes visible from the sky, from a peak, from the surrounding area, or from, not too far off in the bush. Your rescuers, they're trained in looking for certain objects and certain differences in the bush that tell them somebody's been there, somebody's been through here, or hello, this isn't a normal thing. What happens if you didn't fill out a form? Nobody really knows where you're going, perhaps vaguely. Well, it's even more important to stay put, stay where you are, because at some point you're going to be overdue, somebody's going to realise you're overdue, and they are going to come looking for you. And that's all part of another video on preparation for going on a hike, especially if you're solo, or even in a group. And that's preparation, that's another video. But I hope you like this one. So this was golden rule number 4, get help, and if you cannot get help, stay put. So we'll see you shortly for the final one in the 5 golden rules, which is golden rule number 5. And we'll go over that. See you soon.